Hi, we're going to keep going with chapter 5. This is going to be tutorial 5.7 out of the book I use for my class. So calculating a running total. So in this tutorial, we're going to complete the total sales project. It's found in the chapter 5 um, folder in the source code for the book. The applications form's already been created, and we're going to be using a file called sales.txt. So when the completed application runs, the user clicks the Read Sales and Calculate Total button. The application calculates the total of the values in the sales.txt file and displays the total in the total label control. So let's go ahead. I got Visual Studio started up here. I'm going to go ahead and get this opened. And like I said, this is called Total Sales. And it'll take it a minute to get up here. And when it does, I'll close off the two error messages that it gives me on here. And then I'll probably have to readjust the controls on the form so that they work right on the screen that I have. Because if you notice now, it's already come up here. You can see how close the boxes are together there, and they'll run over. So just slide this one over a little bit this way, and do the same thing with the exit button. Get those over there a little bit. Okay. So, well, I'll go ahead and get started here. We'll get into the Read Sales and Calculate button. There we go. So I'll get to the code here. And again, it's going to use a try parse or try catch in here. So we'll start off with the try and the curly brace. Then we get in here. We're going to have two decimal variables. Have a decimal sales and total. Total is going to be equal to 0M. We're also going to have a stream reader. And that's going to be input file. And then with that, input file is going to be equal to file.openText. And the text we're opening is sales.txt. So before I get going here, I want to make sure I'm going to go over here to my folder and switch over to where I have this saved. Go into my chapter 5, total sales, and I'm going to look in here in my bin, debug, and then the 6.0 folder there, and there's my sales tags, sales.txt, and there's the data that's stored in there. Okay, so that's why I wanted to double check and make sure that it's there. Pretty sure it was, but if I don't check, then I'm going to get an error when I go to run this. Okay, so while, and in parentheses, not input file dot end of stream. So while we have data running, we'll go in here. When we don't have any data in there anymore, it'll drop out. Sales is going to be equal to decimal dot parse. This time we're just going to do a parse on here. Input file dot read line. There we go. and then total plus equals sales. Okay, that's everything we've got in our while loop. So we'll come out of our while loop and we'll do a input file.close. And then our total label dot text will be equal to our total dot toString, and we'll format this for, they're going to use a capital C on this one for currency. That takes care of our try, so we got to put in our catch. Exception EX, and then message box dot show EX dot message. Now, I may have mentioned this before, but we're going to be getting into, I think it's the next chapter on creating your own methods. And with the while loops and if statements and stuff in here, it can get kind of complicated with all the different curly braces that are in here. So a lot of times the automatic completion that's in the system and books and stuff have the curly brace on the same line. So like try would have a curly brace next to it. Okay? And then you'd have your ending curly brace down below. And the while loop, you'd have the curly brace at the end of the while statement at the top, and then the ending curly brace. Well, it makes it hard to line them up. I like doing it this way because they line up a lot easier. You can tell if you have one out of place on there. So just a little FYI on doing that. And that's, I mean, it's a preference for me. If you run into problems and I'm trying to grade yours, it makes it a lot harder for me to figure out where they are and stuff. So anyway, so let's go back over and we'll do our exit button. There we go. So let's see what happens when we run this. Take a minute to get up here. Go, click on read sales. And there's our total 3,000 or 13,700. Okay, so that worked out great. So let's go on to the next one. And the next one is tutorial 5.8, simulating coin tosses. Okay, so this tutorial, we're going to create an application that simulates the tossing of a coin. Each time the user tosses the coin, the application uses a random object to get a random integer in the range of 0 through 1. If the random number is 0, it means the tails side of the coin is up, and if the random number is 1, it means the head side is up. Application displays an image of a coin showing either heads or tails, depending on the value of the random number. So we're going to set up the applications form on here ourselves. So that in this case, we're going to create it from scratch. So we're going to do a new project. And down here to where this thing is. There we go. Then call it coin toss. And then get the location where I want to store it. It's going to be chapter 5. I don't think I have that in here. Nope, so I'm good. Okay, so I'm going to, this time now I can redo this to 100% scale, which makes it a little bit easier as long as it does it right. So far, this, in creating this for this semester has been doing pretty good, but and it could be the new version that's making it better. And I don't know why this one's taking so long. It shouldn't take this long to do this. So let's see what happens if I cancel this. One of those things with Microsoft that sometimes things work and sometimes they don't. So now I don't have the window on here. We'll try this again. Coin toss again. And Chapter 5 folder. I got coin toss in here, so I'm going to do this first and delete this off of here. And of course, it's not going to let me because I'm still running it on here. So I'm going to create a new folder. And call it coin toss 2. And do it that way to get around this problem that I had on there. And then create. I'm not going to save my other one. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to redo this one here a little bit. So we're going to have 2 picture boxes, one for the front of the coin and one for the back of the coin, or heads and tails. So I'm going to put those on here first. And get these set up. Okay, so both of them are going to have a size mode of zoom, so I'm going to go ahead and click on those and come over here for my size mode. And change this to zoom. And click off, and then this one is going to have its visible set to true. Which it already is, and then this one is going to have its visible set to false. So let's go ahead and get the picture in for this one. You go to the image. And we do the local resource and import. And we need to go to my source code, chapter 5. Oh, wrong one. I got source code 2 has everything in there. Been playing around with getting this thing set up right. Go. There's my heads. Put that in there. And make this bigger. Looks a little bit better. I'm going to make this the same size. You know? So then I'm on that one now. I'll have to change the name on both of them. So let me go ahead and do the image on this one first. Resources, import. And then this is the tails one. There we go. Okay. So They're a little bit different size. So I'm going to put this one on the top of this one here and then pull it over so that they're the same size now, side by side. Probably change that in a little bit. Okay, so let's change the names on them. This one's going to be our heads picture box, and then this one's going to be our tails picture box. Oops. Okay, so we're going to have 2 buttons. Those lined up down here. So button 1 is going to have a name of toss button. And its text is going to be toss. And then button 2 is going to be our exit button, so its name is going to be exit. And its name is going to be exit button. Okay, so now we got that all taken care of. I'm going to go ahead and do the code for this. So we're going to do our toss button click event handler. In here, we're going to have one integer variable, int, in the right place here, and this is going to be our side up, what we're going to call this. And then we're going to have a variable, var variable, so we're going to call it, do this var rand equals new random. Okay. So rand is going to be an object of the random class. So then we're going to get a number or a value for side up, and that's going to be equal to rand.next, and we're going to have the value 2 in there. So that means we'll get random numbers random numbers of either 1 or 0 or 1. It goes up to, but not, it starts at 0, goes up to, but not including the 2 when you do it this way. Okay, so we're going to have an if statement here. If side up equals 0, then tails picture box dot visible is going to be equal to true, and heads picture box dot visible is going to be equal to false. Okay. Then we're going to do our else. So we go down here to the curly brace, ending curly brace there, do an else. And then this one's going to be heads. We could copy and paste those in there, but I'm going to do it this way. Dot visible is going to be equal to true. And tails picture box dot visible is going to be equal to false. So now we got to do is our exit button. And let's see what happens when we run this one now. Okay, so this one has the visible as true. This one is false, so it doesn't show up. We click on the toss, and we get tails, toss, heads, toss, heads, toss, heads, toss, heads, toss, heads. There's we got tail. Okay, so it seems to be working okay. Now, like we did in the other example. I don't remember which was. It might have been in two or three, chapter 2 or 3. Go ahead and exit out of here. It looks a little bit better, or I think it does, if we put these on top of each other. And move it over this way a little bit here. And move this over. Resize this. And then when we start it up, and we click on, whoops, there we go, and click on toss, now it looks like it's actually flipping a coin. Okay. So just another little change that we can make to that. So hopefully that worked out for you there. We're going to go ahead and now we're going to go to the next one. And this is tutorial 5.9, creating a load event handler. So this one we're going to complete the load event project that was found in chapter 5 folder. And this applications form has already been created and is shown in the book in figure 547. Project also includes an accompanying text file named countries.txt. Countries.txt file contains the names of the countries of South America. We've already looked at that, the South America one, but we're going to go ahead and do this as a load event handler on here. So I'm going to do a file open. And we want to open up the load event. Take a minute. There we go. Got the same error there. We don't get the other one because I changed the screen to be 100% instead of the 125. Okay, so we got countries of South America. We got a list box here, and what we want to do is put those in there before it actually starts up, or right before it starts. So what we're going to do this is we're going to double click on a gray area outside of all the controls. So I'm just going to do it right down here. And there we have our Form 1 load. And that's what this does. This loads before, or when you start the program, this will execute first before it does anything else. So we're going to have a variable, string variable, called country name. And then we're going to have a stream reader, which is going to be our input file. We're then going to do an input file equals file.open, open text, and we're opening countries.txt. Do a while loop while our input file, oops, sorry, back out of there, not input file dot end of stream. Country name is going to be equal to input file dot read line, and then countries list box dot items dot add country name. That ends our while loop. So what we want to do is close our file. So our input file dot close. Oh, they did this in a try catch. Sorry, I missed that. No problem. We'll just go up here. And then we go down to below the input file here. There we go. We do our catch, exception EX. And then in here, we're going to do our message box.show ex.message. Okay. So then the only other thing we need to do is our exit button. So go back over here and double click on that and do our this.close. And then we'll run this and you'll see how this works. And there you go. All the names are loaded in there for us. So now notice how this runs off the screen because of not being set up right. I can just extend this out a little bit here. But this works great if you're, say for example, you're doing an inventory program and it's going to be a menu-driven program where you can add in items to the inventory, delete items out, adjust the inventory, adjust the prices or whatever, so that if there's an inventory already started, you can read that data into, say, a list box for items to be selected, and then do the processing or whatever, and then resave the stuff out later after the program gets done with all the stuff processing. So, okay, that was the last one for Chapter 5. So I hope this helps you out on understanding the material. Bye.